What's up, man? How's it going?
Okay, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here today.
No, thank you. I think this is the first time I've heard, which is weird because I'm in a music conservatory, opera in this room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard it throughout the building, just not this room. So thanks for that.
This is an avant-garde jazz room.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be.
I don't know.
There's a service elevator right there. It could be anything. So talk to me about, just looking at you, I see a merge of a bunch of different genres that at least that's the way you're presenting yourself,
Yeah.
and then with your music. So talk to me a little bit about music and everything growing
How
up.
I came about this
Yeah.
was, I grew up in a little town outside of Chicago, and my brother was a pretty famous regional artist. He was signed to EMI America back then, and he had a group that was touring a lot, and I just was this little kid following my brother everywhere. I put together a little rock band, and always got to open up with him, and I just was living this, rock and roll fantasy life as a kid. And just one day he took me to see Luciano Pavarotti sing, and that was it. That was the beginning of me kind of really realizing that I wanted to do a little bit more with my voice. It was really at his insistence. He was really egging me on, saying, I feel like there's something different in your voice that we should try to cultivate or find. And that's how I really got into opera. And what was going on was I was really living both those worlds my entire life. I was going to music school and singing operas, and he was doing his thing, and we were writing music together, so it was just always these two genres together all the time.
Talk to me a little bit about your brother.
My brother, he passed away, died of Lou Gehrig's disease 17 years ago. And, when he passed away, it was really a huge blow to my whole family and myself, because we were so incredibly close. I mean, he taught me everything I know. And what I found, I was living in Germany at that time singing, and it just seemed like no matter what I was doing, I was missing hearing his rock and roll voice, or our rock and roll voice together. And that's what really, he kind of hit me upside the head that this is what I needed to do. I needed to kind of find a way to keep the two of us still performing together and the two of us living together. And it really started off with a one-man show that I did off-Broadway. It was directed by Lynn Thompson, who was the dramaturg for Rent on and off Broadway. And it was this play about these two brothers, Alex and Tony. And what happened at the end of the plays, we had this third character, which is this opera rock guy. And I really realized doing that show that that's who I was. I was this opera rock guy, and that's who I am today.
Well, you also have theater background as well, right?
Oh yeah, I did
Master
one of the
class,
Broadway
right?
tours of Masterclass with Elizabeth Ashley. I've done some off-Broadway stuff. I've really done a lot of things. One thing that I got from my brother and from performing was that if you just limit yourself to one thing, you kind of pigeonhole yourself too much. You really don't get to work that much. And I love writing, I love directing, I love producing, and so I've done so many different things. It's just, I don't know, I just love it all.
It's got to be, because you have the album coming around the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the singles.
Singles coming out in I think the end of August. Singles
End of
coming
August? Okay.
The album comes out about 6 weeks later.
I would think it would be a little tough to kind of, not tough, but who would you say your audience is? Because you're kind of, merging two worlds together.
Yeah, I know. Well, the first rule is you have to do something that you love. And then the second thing is you try to find an audience that will love it as well. And I've been extremely lucky. Anytime we play anywhere, people go crazy. It's been amazing, especially if we're doing like a 2-night stand at a performing arts center or something like that. It seems like if kids end up coming to the show, whatever age that might be, the next night they'll drag their parents along, and then vice versa. If parents are coming the first night, they'll bring the kids along. The demographic at our shows has been such it's almost, I always say it's 9 to 90, because you look out there and you can't believe that there are people really enjoying this music. I mean, there is, you still have to think about, who your core audience is and so forth and so on, but I don't know, a good song is a good song is a good song. And
I agree.
Hopefully I'm touching people,
Well, I always, a lot of the bands that I interview actually fall into the alt rock category, but sometimes they transcend to the pop rock, charts or the pop charts. And I feel like pop used to be a 4-letter word for a while. And,
Yeah.
I think, with Mumford Sons, Imagine Dragons, other bands
Yeah.
kind of going on that chart now, it's kind of the field's wide open for anything, really, right?
Yeah, I hope so, yes.
Well, at the very least, I get to tag Mumford & Sons in this interview. So
there you go.
it'll
So you
generate
can
some more, yeah,
That's all it is.
it was just a pure name drop. Just one of
You're
those.
just trying to get backstage
Yeah,
passes.
no, I'm not, no. I don't need to meet them. Do you need to meet them?
I'll meet him, sure.
All right, we'll go together. So, talk to me about what the next couple of months look like for you.
Oh, it's a lot of interviews and a lot of playing. We've been doing, it's been strange, we've been doing a lot of private gigs lately. It's,
Yeah.
you know, which is a lot of fun, but it's really about getting prepared for the album. We have our first video shoot for the first single is going to happen at the end of August. Next week, actually, a week from today, I'm going to Chicago to sing the national anthem at the Cubs game. The Chicago
Sweet.
Cubs game. Yeah, and so
Awesome.
it's a dream for me to be on that field singing that, because as a little boy, I sat there so many, how many times and watched games. So
That's awesome.
So that's what's going on right now.
That's cool. And you did mention that you went to Manus and, you have a background. Like, what were you studying when you were
I
going
was
there?
just trying to find my voice.
Yeah.
That's what you do as a lyric tenor. You work on your voice and you work on your voice and nothing else. You sit in a practice room all alone, screaming and crying and praying to find your voice. That's all.
Is it hard for you I'm going back and forth, but was it hard for you to just do this acoustic as opposed, I'm assuming that on stage is a lot more,
Yeah, it's a lot, it's always hard to just put on a guitar and do this kind of music. The very first time I did this was an acoustic show. It wasn't even an acoustic show. I had an idea for a different song, and I went to a club in this town I was living in. I went to a metal club, and I asked the promoter if I could just go up there and do this opera song, and he actually made me sign a waiver and said, if I got my, what handed to me, he wasn't held responsible. And I did this in front of this metal crowd just by myself with an acoustic guitar, and they went crazy. So that was the first test. I figured if I can get these guys to like opera, then maybe I'm onto something.
Cool.
So, I do enjoy doing it with the whole band. There's nothing like singing with a full orchestra and a huge stage and everything. But, the old adage is you sing everywhere, all the time. You got it.
Cool. Well, thanks for singing here.
Are you kidding? It's great.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thanks.